Hello guys! So today we are going to be doing another magazine flip through and chewing some extra long lasting spearmint gum. And I do have my little brush here. I used this in one of my Pokemon collection tracing videos. I thought it might be a nice addition for the magazine flip through. So today's magazine is Neo magazine. This one is featuring JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It is their guide to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. They're going to be featuring 5 new streaming anime to watch now. Weathering with You, SSS Gridman, Bandmade, Best of 2019, the Neo Awards, Parasite, and I picked this up at my local Barnes & Noble. I'm always on the lookout for interesting magazines, and I do remember getting another issue of this previously, so let's take a look here. I have an advertisement for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which is out now. We have Goku here, flying into the frame with Toei Animation, Bandai Namco. Reviews, Castlevania here, I believe. I don't recognize what anime this is from. Just table of contents. Welcome and meeting the team. They're just introducing, it looks like, the JoJo's issue. Some team members. I have an ad for BB. Metal. Looks like a tour they were planning to go on. Hopefully they were able to get the tour underway before everything was canceled. It's one thing that I really miss, is being able to go to concerts and things. I swear, once everything is safely up and running, I really am going to have to stop procrastinating on going to see some of my favorite bands. So this is a really nice cover page for Castlevania here. We have Dracula. His teleporting castle, it looks like. This is the Neo Awards results 2019. Another fantastic 12 months in the world of Asian entertainment for Neo and our readers. So, as per their readers, the best anime of 2019 for them was Castlevania, Anime Limited. Now, I've seen all of Castlevania that's currently on Netflix. And I really did enjoy the anime, although I don't know if I would say it's my favorite from 2019 entirely, because there are so many other just incredible anime that came out. Like we had Dragon Slayer, The Promised Neverland, Dr. Stone is one that many would rank up there. But I really did enjoy Castlevania. Like, I honestly, every time a new season comes out, I watch it in like 1 or 2 days max. I really kind of binge watch it. Best anime movie, home release: My Hero Academia, Two Heroes. Now, I haven't seen this movie. I've certainly watched quite a bit of My Hero Academia. I stay up to date with the manga. I'm finding that in my kind of adult age, since I work and have a lot of things that take up my time, I find it easier to keep up with a lot of series that are important to me to stay up on by reading the manga instead, because I can read faster than I can watch a 20-minute episode. Like, I can get through a bunch of chapters. So I do a lot more reading of manga than I do watching. Best anime movie theatrical: Dragon Ball Super Broly. I, at least personally, would agree with this. I do like Dragon Ball. I can't claim to be the most, like, hardcore fan. I've really watched kind of a jumble of the anime of Dragon Ball itself. I watched, like, all of Super, the original, like, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I've only caught, like, episodes here and there. But watching Broly was really, really cool. One of my friends brought it over, and we had a movie night and watched it. And, like, I guarantee you, right after we watched that movie, I went online and downloaded, like, well, not downloaded, but, like, added to my YouTube playlist pretty much every remix of Broly's theme that I could, so that I could work out to it. Really, a really good movie. I just love the whole, like, go Broly, go Broly. It was really cool. Let's see. Best Specialist Company, JPU. I wonder what they do. Another year and another win for the unstoppable specialist company, JPU. What was once a small events company has now turned into a force to be reckoned with in the world of niche record labels. So they must sign, like, bands and things. That's kind of neat. Something interesting. Best musical act, Bandmade. I'm unfamiliar with this band. I've only seen some pictures, but my guess is that they're either doing metal or pop or something. It's a combination of rock music and an image that evokes the very Japanese aesthetic of maid cafes. So rock and roll plus maid cafe is a pretty neat idea, pretty neat concept. The best streaming anime, Demon Slayer. No, with the best streaming anime service, Crunchyroll. I personally don't have Crunchyroll, so I'm not sure if it's the best service or not. These days it feels like you have to have a bunch of different services, because there's, like, Amazon exclusives, there's Hulu exclusives, Netflix exclusives. But I do know that Crunchyroll seems to be, like, the most prevalent and the most advertised. So I can understand why that would win. Demon Slayer for streaming anime. I will say, after watching a couple fights from Demon Slayer, I was motivated to watch like as many episodes as were currently out and to read and finish as much of the manga as I could. So very, very good series and neat concept. Best game, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and best game distributor, Nintendo. So personally, I do certainly like playing Smash Brothers. I wouldn't say that's my personal favorite of 2019. I really had a lot of fun with like Fire Emblem Three Houses. Trying to remember, I think Pokemon came out, Pokemon Sword and Shield came out in 2019, although I wouldn't say Pokemon Sword and Shield is the best game of the year. I understand why this is really rated so highly, because I know a lot of people are into competitive Smash, and this game has so very many new characters playing. So I understand why it's such a high up there choice and why it won. Best live action movie, Alita Battle Angel. I never saw this movie. I feel like it's hard to make a good like anime or manga to movie and make it live action successfully. I heard really good reviews on this, so I can definitely see why that won. Best anime distributor, Anime Limited. I'm unfamiliar with this distributor. I wonder if they like sell like box sets or something, or if they help with localization. Best Collector's Edition anime, Dragon Ball Z 30th Anniversary Collector's Edition manga. It's really interesting that they're on their 30th anniversary. Wow. If you asked me how old Dragon Ball Z was, I probably would have thrown out like, it's probably like 20, 25 years, because that's about the age range of a bunch of my friends and I. But it's crazy to think that's been around for so long. Best franchise, Pokemon. I mean, I do know Pokemon is like, I don't know if it's number one or if it's like, it's gotta be at least like top 10 with successful franchises. I'd assume it would get competition by like Disney, like Mickey Mouse and all that, but I gotta say, I saw Detective Pikachu and loved every moment of it. Like, I was smiling the whole time I was in the theater. I find him absolutely adorable. He's so fluffy. Like, if I'm having a bad day, or if I'm dreading going into work or something, because I know it's going to be really busy, I'll pull up little gifs of him sipping his coffee, and it makes me smile. The little him taking a sip out of the coffee cup will improve my day no matter what. Even if it's a good day, I should end it with like watching Pikachu take a sip of coffee, because he's so adorable. I actually went and bought the little plush of him, his little detective hat that's modeled after the movie one, just so I could look at it. I think I'm gonna bring it to work, just so I can, I don't know, if I ever get one of those little frames that you can put like a bunch of pictures on those little digital frames, I'm just gonna put pictures of Detective Pikachu and his coffee on it. No joke. Best retailer, Amazon. I know there's a lot of reasons to contest what best might mean there, given some of the practices of Amazon. But I will definitely agree that most convenient would be Amazon. I use it for a lot of stuff. When I was in college, before I bought a car to get around in, this solved so many problems in terms of, like, how do I get big items to my apartment when I don't have a car and I can't really load, like, a step ladder onto my bike. That's what Amazon's for. Let's see, best merchandiser, Tokyo Toys. I'm unfamiliar with that brand. In terms of, like, this might just be like its own store or something, or a brand. When I order things from Japan, I usually go through a different, like, distributor store, so I'm not very familiar. Best Asian movie distributor, Sony. Best Asian live action movie, Issue Remaster, Godzilla, the Showa era. Best manga distributor, Viz Media. This is another that I've heard a lot about. A lot of video game and anime YouTubers are doing, like, they're getting sponsored on doing ads for Viz Media. Bookwalker's another one that might end up getting mentioned. Best manga, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4. I fall into the category of having never seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or read it. I think I really do need to read it, so it would at least give me an opportunity to catch up without having to invest, like, a ton of hours into watching the anime. New in Japanese cinemas. Looks like Eternity in the Auto Memory Doll. Looks interesting. Very pretty landscaping here. Get ready for amazing 2020 anime movies. We have Evangelion, Violet Evergarden, Alita Battle Angel, looks like it's still being featured here. This might be something else that they're just doing in a similar CG style. Further into the Abyss. Lupin's New Dimension. Gundam's Blast from the Past. A little advertisement for Cells at Work in Anohana. Neo's Top 10 Music Stories hitting the UK. Looks like a bunch of new bands and things that are being featured. A Straw Hat Stampede. Pirates Ahoy for one day only. Fairy Tale News. I think it's interesting that they post, like, a consolidated anime release and manga release schedule. It's a nice feature, so you don't have to go look everything up one by one. Or maybe something you forgot about is being released. This is UK, of course. hanging out in Asakusa. Neo's resident idol shares her favorite spots around famous Sensoji Temple. She has a very pretty aesthetic here. I like her choice of either hair color or wig. She coordinated it well with her outfit and makeup. Looks like a really warm scarf here, all bundled up. Maybe it's a bit chilly there. It looks like she has some candied strawberries. Her nails are really nicely done. I wonder what it's like being an idol. Because you hear about it in like manga and anime and things. But it's a real, for some girls and guys, I think, it's a real kind of occupation and lifestyle. Like, I think it sounds fun on paper, but I don't know if I would be able to kind of be like on all the time socially in terms of, always kind of keeping the image up and being that outgoing. And maybe if that's your lifestyle, it becomes easier and kind of enjoyable. But I don't know. I'll have to look up a YouTube video or something where they talk about how they go day to day. See, London Comic-Con. Hopefully they were able to make that happen, but in this time frame, who knows? Blade of the Immortal. Anime expose. History mired in blood. Now that looks pretty interesting. I do like the art style. It looks pretty gritty and crisp. Anime expose. Leave your issues off the court and stars align. Depending on the sport, I can be a pretty big fan of sports anime. I'm a bit partial to those that are about like running and track and field, because that's what I did for my high school kind of sport choice. But I mean, as cultured as it is, I really did enjoy the kind of like joke sports anime, which was Kaijo. It's basically like girls in swimsuits trying to bump each other off of floats and pools. So it really wasn't like high class, but it was really funny, and they had a lot of really kind of smart nods to like other shonen tropes and things. I guess this is talking about another kind of magazine. Oh, this is another feature on Anohana, the flower we saw that day. Ghost story that foreshadowed a silent voice. I didn't know that those were connected. But I know I've talked about this one before. But for anyone who hasn't seen it, Anohana is a really, really good anime to watch. And I don't know how many episodes. I think it's like 13 or 12 or something. But it's a really 11 episodes. It's a really, really good watch. It really does a good job portraying kind of how different people process grief, how we view people and remember them from our childhoods, and how we often kind of paint a picture of what we think someone is going to be like based off of how we thought about them when we were children and things. out now the Atelier Dusk trilogy. Now this looks really pretty. This almost reminds me of the Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia artwork with that really nice soft coloring, almost like watercolor. This is another thing where I'm like, man, I wish they had put like a poster insert of this in here. Very pretty. An advertisement for a Gundam game. See, we love this stuff. Check out Neo's pick of the coolest merchandise around this month. These are cute in theory, but I've gotten something like these before and they look kind of odd in practice. They're little bunny earmuffs to keep your ears warm. I ended up getting some pusheen ones from a friend as a gift. They just stick out a little bit too far from your head to be pulled off. Like, it's really cute in theory, and I still wear them because they're very warm, and my friend got them for me, but they don't do what you'd think. Like, they don't look how you think they would. Or maybe they look just exactly as you think they would, and you wouldn't buy them for that reason. Let's see. Here's the full page on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I do like their distinct art style that they use for the characters. It's JoJo's world, and we're just living in it. Andrew Osmond tackles the phenomenon created by Hirohiko Araki as manga launches JoJo at the UK. Like I said, I'm not very familiar with JoJo, as I haven't watched it. I just see a lot of the memes, and a lot of my friends are into it. Jotaro has become big enough to function as a synonym for JoJo as a whole, Araki said. I've actually based subsequent JoJos on his visual design and differentiated from there. It's kind of interesting. But he is kind of correct. Even people like me who haven't even read any of the manga or watched the anime are familiar enough to know, like Jotaro. And just some of the quotes of it, like the world and everybody. Neo Artist Showcase, the best in reader talent. It's pretty neat that they choose to feature a new artist every magazine. It's a really nice way for the artist to get some true exposure and to potentially kind of put themselves out there for people to follow them or commission them or hire them. Now, I looked into buying this magazine, and it is pretty pricey, mostly because they're selling, like, they have to ship it internationally since I live in the US. But maybe come holiday time, if any of my family or friends are looking for something, I'd be like, just get me like a 3 or 6 month thing so it's not too crazy. Some more bands. Here we go. Nice kind of full art picture here of Anohana, the flower we saw that day. Let me hold it so the glare doesn't get at you. There shouldn't be too much glare here because it's raining actually, but still. All the main characters. Yeah, it's a pretty complex story of friendship and several different kind of like love triangles and things, and it's a good story. It was definitely one that I watched kind of like all in one day. I didn't want to have to stop it. I really got immersed in it. One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows. I really like the anime and reading the manga, but I don't know how I would feel about playing a One Punch Man video game. I'll have to look and see. If anyone's played this game, let me know what you think about it. Because I see the advertisement a lot. I feel like it would be fun to play as like Genos. Saitama, I imagine, would just throw a punch out and the game would be over. But let me know if you've played it and what you think. See, the next issue, I'm going to talk about Persona 5 Royal. It invaded. I've heard about this. It's like the detective gets transported to a really weird world where like the physics of the world is messed up, and like has a compulsion to solve a murder mystery that he comes across. Pet. I haven't heard of this one. Might be a little too intense for me, judging by the picture. Hot stuff. Mark Guthrie takes you for a soak in the tub, Japanese style. Now, I would love to someday go to Japan and swim in like a hot spring, take a bath. It looks like really fun and relaxing. And I feel like their standard of clean for it would be pretty high. I'd be skeptical to do like something like this the US, but I feel like they'd clean it pretty well there. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but with how pretty everything looks, it looks so well kept. I feel like I wouldn't have any concerns. Weird to think that they're advertising a fighting game in here, but it probably has some fans. Oh, it's on a DVD, so it must be a big fight. Some live action movies. Long Day's Journey into Night. And First Love. Looks like it must be a romance movie. Maybe a bit of a drama, because she looks, well, or maybe there's like some thriller or drama or tragic elements to it. To have and have not. Oh, this is featuring that Parasite movie that I've heard is really good. I do want to watch it. I know it's kind of, I usually don't watch too many of the kind of artistic movies. I usually watch kind of some of the simpler stuff like Marvel or, some romantic comedies, but this does look like a good one. Win 5 copies of Warriors Orochi 4 Ultimate on PS4. I'm imagining this giveaway is probably over, considering they were just talking about the 2019 awards. Mr. Sunshine. Makoto Shinkai talks to Neo's Stephen West about capturing the color of rain, the predominance of teenagers in anime, and broaching climate change in his blockbuster hit Weathering with You. Oh dang, I didn't know that had climate change included. It certainly takes a lot of time, because when it rains the ground gets wet. Then you have reflections of people, so it takes twice as much drawing. So this is probably like a visual spectacle, if they're going that in depth with the art. I really need to get a hold of a copy of this and watch it or rent it. Looks like an incredible movie, or at least that they put a lot of time and effort into the artwork here. I was surprised coming here that I've been asked about climate change in every single interview, but in Japan nobody asks about it. The reaction has varied a lot by country. In China and in Russia, it's been similar to Japan, in that people haven't been talking about climate change in response to the film. But in India and in the US, everyone has had something to say about climate change. It's interesting to think that in other countries they don't talk about it very much. At least in the US, that's a really big topic, especially with our 2020 election coming up. It's a pretty big issue, even amongst the current issues of the day, with everything that's been going on with the virus and everything that's been going on with the movements against the police and against police brutality and the movements that have been just going on right now. This is still a big thing that's talked about. I've heard about Carol and Tuesday. It's another one that I think was on Netflix that I do want to watch. It's like a little bit out of my wheelhouse in terms of what I'm interested in usually, but I've heard some really good things about it. Penguin Highway. That one was featured in the other magazine of this Neo series. Calamity of a Zombie Girl. Looks kind of interesting. Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. This rom-com is 100 times smarter than it sounds. I only got a couple episodes in and I didn't really get hooked, so I never finished it. I think I just didn't really understand it or something like that, because I wasn't able to finish it, but I think I'm going to have to revisit it at some point because I've heard such good things about it. Code Geass, Saga of Tanya the Evil, the complete series. Oh, it looks kind of fun. If anything, just for that really cute art style. Looks like they're giving us part of the manga of Clown Cops. South Korea. Seoul. City Guide. Emily Lavelle is your guide to one of the most exciting cities in Asia. South Korean capital, Seoul. I do like this little Peanuts display. How sweet. Got Charlie Brown. Got Snoopy and Woodstock on top of Snoopy's little dog house. Linus in his blanket. Looks like back here there might be Lucy facing the other way. Oh wow, that's really pretty. These little bridges here that everybody's walking over. I'm just amazed at how well preserved everything looks. It's very beautiful. Try a tea house. I guess this must be one of their little tea shops or something. Everything's beautifully plated. I feel like I have such an appetite though. I'd be like, can I have like 1 order of tea and like 3 orders of the snacks, please? They'd be like, get out. From gargantuan shopping malls and indoor theme parks to grand palaces and cozy traditional tea rooms, Seoul has it all. I would love to go to a little cat cafe. However, I am allergic to cats and dogs, so that wouldn't pan out. But man, I've heard that in Japan there's a hedgehog cafe, so I might have to give that a shot. Or if they did like a lizard cafe, like a gecko or a reptile cafe, I could do that. Looks like they must have had a partnership with Cells at Work for a promo if you get the magazine. I heard about this. The I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. Really weird title, I think. The premise is one of the characters has got pancreatic cancer. So that's where that kind of, like, they're angry at it. They want to get rid of it. And I think it's a story about, like, one of them doesn't realize that, so they treat the other normally. And the other kind of falls in love because they're not scared of them because of a condition. But that's what I've only gotten through reviews. I haven't actually seen it. I think coming up we should get to the cosplay pages. So we have a Siri cosplay. It looks really good. Pretty darn accurate. Harley Quinn, Princess Leia, Gerald and Siri. They're really going on the Siri one. I wonder if she's like a famous cosplayer or something. I mean, I'm really impressed by the detail. Like, this belt must be like foam sculpted. She's got all the little like buckles and things. I feel like the Witcher cosplays, while they would be super fun because you get to like be a really cool Witcher character and you can meet up with probably a bunch of the other characters at conventions and kind of like fight. And there's so many like little trinkets and things that are part of their outfit to really complete the outfit. It's gotta be very time consuming, and to put on and take off, it's gotta be kind of hard. And that's the back page with an advertisement for Life is Strange 2. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this magazine flip through. Definitely let me know if there's any other magazines you guys would be interested in me going through. Be it like, I'm open to doing like, if you like makeup magazines, style magazines, if you're more into like the Avon or InStyle or those kind of things. I'd be into doing sports ones. Like, I'm not super familiar with most sports, but I could do like a Runner's World or something pretty knowledgeably. But let me guys know if there's any magazines you really enjoy reading that you might like me to read through or experience. And thank you guys so much again for watching, for taking the time out of your day to watch my videos and leave feedback and likes and comments and things, or dislikes. That's good feedback too. So thank you so much, guys, and I will see you in the next video.